This week, Sam decides he's going to be a bard. We're still going to level 12. The majority of our levels are still going to be in bard. Optional, customize, and critical role content. So we're going to start Barbarian for all of them. You know, they're all going to be Barbarian builds at the end of the day. First one, we are going to go 6. But first, we need to discuss our race. We are going custom lineage. We are going to be medium. We are going to take a feat. We are going to take Polearm Master. We are going to take Dark Vision. For our abilities, we are going to point by. We are going to start by getting our Strength, Con. We're going to back our Strength down to 14 so we can just keep it even as we level it. Wisdom saves are debilitating, and we also need this for our multiclass, so we're going to go 13, 13. And then 9 in Charisma, with the +2 going into our Strength. So class Barbarian. And the goal of this build is going to be, we want to do as much damage as humanly possible. Animal handling and intimidation in case DM, or we'll take athletics. So neither strength on. Primal path, we're going to go path of the zealot. Going to go radiant because it is the least resistant between the two. And then off the bat, we are going to go great weapon master. So first turn, we are making 3 attacks at advantage. And they will always be at advantage because reckless attack. One hit per turn will deal an extra 1d6 plus half barbarian level, so 1d6 plus 3. But now it's time we take that and we push it to the absurd. So we're going to go ranger. We're going to go 3 ranger. We're going to go into optional features, and we are going to turn on favorite foe and deft explorer. We are going to deft explore our athletics. Languages don't matter here. Proficiency, we'll take perception. Fighting style. We will take blind fighting. And for our archetype, you probably know where this is going. We're taking Gloomstalker. Now we're only 9, and I run these builds to 12. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go fighter for our next 3. Here we're going to go grab the fighting style, and we're going to grab great weapon fighting to reroll our damage dice. Martial archetype, we are going to go battle master. We're going to take an... I feel like brewer's supplies make sense for a barbarian. Maneuvers, we're going to take precision attack. We are going to take riposte. And we are going to take brace. Okay, brace was not what I thought. Brace is pretty much what we get from Polearm Master, so I'm going to switch that out for menacing attack. So, first turn of combat, we now make 4 attacks with our attack action. 1 has an additional d8. Then we make a 5th for our bonus action. Then we can we make 3, 4 for our bonus. Then we can action surge for additional 3, making 7 attacks first turn of combat by level 12. Now granted, we have not taken any ASIs yet. Our stats are not fantastic. But as we progress this build, we have a few different ways we can do it. And I'm going to suggest the controversial one first. We're going to go cleric. We'll pick up one level of fighter, one level of ranger to get 2 ASIs. And those will both go into strength, and then because I'll get strength to 18, then 20. But then we will go cleric for the rest of the game. And in terms of domains, we are going to go... Peace would be a really good option just because it's mathematically good. So would Twilight. But we're going to go Forge. Because we do not know if we're going to have access to to magic weapons. This lets you use Blessing of the Forge to make your weapon of choice a +1 magic weapon the rest of the game. And I would carry on from levels 13 to 20 with Cleric. You'll only end up getting 7 levels. Or sorry, 6 levels, because we're going to quickly do this. We'll go 4, 4. So yeah, you'll get up to 6 levels of Cleric. You'll have Soul of the Forge, you get resistance to fire damage even when you're not raging. And now, you kind of transition between 2 fighting styles. The first encounters of the day, you use your rage. Once you're out of rages, you now put on your heavy armor and you become more of a zoning tank character. With casting support. Is it a traditional barbarian? By no means. Is it a great barbarian? I would argue yes. And something we say a lot is Barbarian is good in tier 1. Barbarian is great in tier 1 gameplay. Your first few levels up to like 4 to 5, fantastic. Barbarians can be some of the best damage dealers in the game at those levels. Right up there with rogues. They just fall off. So all these Barbarian multiclass ideas are going to be about supplementing that fall-off point and delaying it as far as possible. So to show you what this build looks like at 20, which I know wasn't the intent, but we're here and talking about it, so we might as well show it. So we're going to raise strength. We are going to raise our strength. And then here we are going to take an ability score improvement. Not ability score. We're going to take a feat. We're going to take resilient. And we're going to grab resilient wisdom, because wisdom saves again are just devastating. And here's what we look like at level 20. We've got a +3 to our initiative. We've got spell casting up to 4th level. We've got lots of little things to supplement ourselves throughout the day to make us just a bit more efficient. Like, in fights where you no longer have rage up. First turn, eat metal something. Every turn after, take weapon attacks as normal, and then bonus action, proc eat metal. Like, this is a build that will sustain all throughout an adventuring day. Heck, I just threw this together with the idea a little bit before stream. I'm excited to try playing this one at a table. This feels like a very fun build. Story. You are dedicated to the God of the Forge. You have given your whole life to just mastering your craft. And one day he heard you. You were dying in the battlefield. He lifted you up. He blessed the weapon in your hand and said, "Go forth and smite in my name." And to represent the fact we can make our pole armor +1, we're just going to go grab a +1 glaive. Gonna equip it. And boom. We have a +12 to hit. So let's make that correct to Great Weapon Master real quick. So -5 +10. So we have +7 to hit with advantage. For 1d10 +16 damage, plus 1d6 +3. And we're attacking so often at advantage. And again, on fights where you're not concentrating on where you're not raging, you have first level spells. You can fix all your issues right now. First level spell. Grab Bless. Now you're rolling a d20 plus a d4 every time. And that's pretty much getting rid of your +5 or your -5 penalty. But that's enough of this build. It's interesting as it is. We're going to move on to something different. Sam feels a different path calling him. Something a bit darker has reached through. So we're going to shuffle our points around a little bit. We're going to put wisdom back down to 8, and we're going to raise our charisma up to 13. And heck, we'll set our charisma to 9. Our wisdom to 9. So, this time, and just like we're going to adjust our ability scores here. We're going to move our +2 over to charisma. No, we'll keep on strength. Stretch that. I like this idea more. So, we were adventuring one day, and we found ourselves a cursed weapon, and it reached out to us. We are now a Hexblade. Now, to be clear, we are not using the Hex Warrior feature. That is not why we are here. We are here. We're not using it much. I will rephrase that. Once we get access to Pact of the Blade, we can consider some use of it. But we don't have to go Pact of the Blade for this, because all we're here for is some of the spell casting and utility. We now have a consistent range damage option. We have some out of combat utility. We have a safeguard against death. And we get an extra body on the field. And the big kicker, because you cannot concentrate while raging, I hear you saying that, I do. We don't care. We are here for 2 spells. Eldritch Blast as a range damage source, so, we're not useless against flyers. And Armor of Agathis, a duration spell without concentration, giving us temporary hit points. It's giving us 15 temp hit points, which against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing while raging is effectively 30. And every time we get hit, they'll take 15 damage back. Goblin hits you for 6. Boom, you hit him back for 15. And yeah, you can't upcast it while raging, but you see you're coming into a fight. You get it ready. It's far from perfect. It is not the best build. It is not a great build, but it's a funny build. But let's go for something that's, a lot better. Because we can do that. We're going to go back to our ability scores. We're going to go 9, 8, 8. We're going to sit here and we're going to pump our decks. And then we are going to raise our wisdom to 12 to protect against bad saves. And what we're going to do this time is we are going to go adding another class. We are going to go to Fighter. For 3 levels. Fighting style, blind fighting. Martial archetype, we are going to go Echo Knight. So now, just level 9, we have an Echo we put next to ourselves, giving us advantage without reckless attacking. We can flank ourselves effectively. We can attack from backlines, letting it tank our hits. And we can make extra attacks per turn using Unleash Incarnation. For the rest of our levels, we are going to go Rogue. Go Acrobatics. Expertise, we're going to pick it up in Athletics and the Thieves' Tools. We're not here for Sneak Attack, but it's nice. We don't care. Subclasses very much to pick your favorite, but because we are here and because we can take it, we're grabbing Soul Knife. It is going to be giving us a ton of out-of-combat utility in terms of sonic power. And when we need a ranged DPS source, we have Psychic Blades. And the show what this build looks like at 12. Where it gets really fun, it's come down to our features. We have 2 extra attacks per rest. So that means on our first turn, we make 6 attacks with Action Surge, or whenever we do that. Psychic Blade does scale with Strength, so we can use that. But we have our 8 Sonic Energy Dice at 1d6. And we can use them to boost our skill checks. Are we the best scout in the game? Are we the best skill monkey in the game? No. No. Far from it. But we are filling a role we otherwise couldn't. And I know you see it too. The thought of a barbarian talking in your head with psychic whispers is hilarious. But now, we're going to pose a completely different thought. What if our barbarian friend here wanted to get smart? He is done simply being the butt of the family jokes. He is done just being a barbarian, a Path of the Zealot. He wants to make something of himself. He's going to go Ancestral Guardian, pick up that Ancestral Protectors. And now we can go back Echo Knight for a really cool trick where the Echo does the attacking. But we're going to shuffle our ASIs around a little bit. We're going to tank our Dex. Going to lower our Con. We're going to raise our Charisma. We are going one of the very, very classic builds you can do in this game. Paladin. 6 levels. Fighting style, we are going to take blind fighting again. For our Sacred Oath, we are going to go Oath of the Watchers. For ASI, we are going to take an ability score, and we are going to raise Strength twice. At this level, this build is just okay. Where it gets really interesting is at the very next level, where now we give our teammates who are next to us that start a fight a bonus to our initiative equal to our proficiency bonus. So I'll show you this one because this is where the build truly comes alive. I know it is one level past. Bear with me. So, we have some smites, which remember we're attacking advantage, so we can hold these for our juicy crits. And we have a fantastic initiative score for a dex of 10. No, none of these builds are perfect. They're all just kind of silly, quick, thrown together ideas for some ways you can take your Barbarian and some things you can think about. Please give me your Barbarian builds down below, and we will continue to talk about them next video or later down the road. We'll do kind of a response to this. We'll take more of these builds to 20 and we'll sit and talk about them. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Goodbye.